Is that any better? Can you hear me now? Oh, outstanding. Okay. Thank you. Hey, Justocket, how you doing, brother? Good to see you in. I just told him um, this was sitting on top of the roll. So I'm having a feeling that it's probably already been searched. Uh, Pretty cool little find. It's 2019. So they've done it. I found another one again earlier searching it. So I think this is kind of their marker to say that they've already searched this roll, but we'll see. Earlier, I found a couple coins, nothing really impressive. 42. I found a 51D. So nothing really major, but again, just is what it is. And again, for those of you that don't know, all two of you, I have to look at each one of these in order to be able to see these because of my old eyes. Do either one of you guys want to come online and just chit chat, visit it up? You're more than welcome to if you want to. Found a really good looking 2011. It wasn't a double die, but it had basically no marks on it. Full steps, really good shape. It's 58D, which was really nice. I found one of the items that I asked you for, Justocket. That was the 23D or 2003D. I did find one of those. No worries. Understand how that goes. I had to move mine from downstairs to upstairs so that my wife wouldn't kill me. So this way they don't have to be quiet. They can do whatever they want to do. Now I'm just in the kids' game room, so they come in and say, get out of here. They're really cool about it. Lewis and Clark. So Justocket, is there anything with the Lewis and Clarks that we should be looking for? Is there I'm still learning about nickels. It's not one of my fortes. I think I remember something about doubling in the cell. Let me try and see. Well, this is the 2004P. The 2005, that can be a Buffalo or the Ocean View. Yeah, 2005 is the Ocean View and the Bison. Yeah, the Speared Bison I'm aware of. Just wasn't sure if there were anything in 2004. I don't recall anything, but yeah, we'll see. And I got a couple rolls of pennies. I'm only going to be on for probably about an hour. I want to check out some. I want to check out a stream that's going on a little bit later, and then I want to hop on to Found It Buried's stream tonight. So I want to probably jump off and head over there. Are you getting on it all tonight, Stackit? Or are you just working on your office? Coin Junkie, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to. I don't know what you guys' day's like, but again, this is just going to be really lay low and easy. Let me throw that in there. If you want to come on up, come on up. I don't know who else is here. Coin Junkie. Yeah, I only see two people. There's three people in, but I only see two people. You guys want to come on up, just feel free. I know that, yeah, no worries. You need to take off, obviously, go for it. Do what you got to do. Get your stuff set up. When are you going to stream next? Oh, okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'm trying to learn more a little bit about the nickel varieties. I know that there's some stuff with the 2021 with the big die crack here across the eye, or the one where he's smoking, the pirate one. I found one that I jokingly put in a flip. Let me find it real fast. Um, it's a 2011 double die, but it makes me laugh because and normally that wouldn't go in a flip, but I put it in there just because of uh, it looked like he was got a double tap to the head. I don't know where it went. Oh, I said it somewhere. I don't know where I said it. I did find a few really nice coins. I'm trying to find my 2011s. I don't know where my 2011s were. I wanted to show you what I was talking about with the double die on 2011, but I think I already took them. I think I already put them away. So hopefully, hey, Philip Thybord, what's up, man? How are you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Philip, be watching my shorts. I got a couple of Merc Dime shorts going out. I'm actually working another one on kind of the story of the Merc, and talking about some of the common counterfeits that are out there. It's going to be a tie between the counterfeit series that I've been doing, and just kind of like an intro to Merc Dimes. So you may find it interesting. I know that you really like the Mercs. So still working on filling up my book. I think I'll probably get back into it here in the next week or two. I'll probably review or get another roll of Mercs and see if I can find any more for the book fill, just to kind of keep that up. And these, I don't know what it is about these, but man, they are beat to hell. But all right, so we got a modern buffalo coming up next, hopefully. And no love. I would love to find one of those spirit bison. Have you ever found one, Stackett? I would love to find one of those. I've seen images of it, but I've never actually seen one. Yeah, you were saying that you need to get a new phone. We need to do I need to do a fundraiser for Philip Tybor to get a new phone. No, I understand being out in the boonies is tough, especially when it's your only source of communication and internet. So fully understand, brother. No worries at all. Glad you're here. Appreciate you popping in, saying hi. It really does mean a lot. So, and again, I think with finding finding this at the very beginning in the edge of the roll. I think it was their marker that says that some of these these coins have been searched. I don't know that we're going to be finding much in this one, but still. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Again, take your time. Like I said, fully understand your situation. It's not a big deal at all. I appreciate you being in, and that's what matters to me. You know, pop in, say hi, let me know you're doing good. Tell me if you've acquired any cool things. That's that's what this is about, is just palling around, visiting, and chatting with people. I just happen to be looking at coins with you. So I'm more about the community and having a chit chat and knowing how people are doing and seeing what cool stuff they've come across, or if they've been able to, acquire any really cool items. That's the fun part about this. So, how's everybody else doing today? Anybody had anything fun or anything good planned for this weekend? I know it's only Thursday, but my mind's already on Friday. What I need to do is I need to get with Just Stack It and finish setting up the or set up my that's like the horrible coin, the games, getting that stuff set up so that people can actually play and do something while I'm going through these. I think that kind of busy stuff helps a lot. Yeah, so you got a screenshot of the Merc list, but you know what else you can do is if you go, let me pull that up real quick. If you go to, let me get to my content real quick and I'll show you. If you go to the Merc Dime video, and you look at the, let me get there, let me turn the sound off real quick. So if you click on the information, let me share my screen real quick and I'll show you. Yeah, I'm on StreamYard, but I've got OBS that I just need to set up. I just haven't done it yet. So if you go to the channel and you click on the Mercury Dime one, down here in the comments, I list the Mercury Dimes that I need. So I've got that list here. So if you end up having any of those, let me know. I only need 3 for my nickel books, and then my nickel books are complete. So my nickel books are complete. Let me just turn this off. So my nickel books are complete all the way from 38 all the way on. And what I'll start doing is I'll start working through all my books that I've got complete and start working on upgrading some of the things. I did get, because like this one right here, you can see this one's been polished up. So finding a 43D silver or steel, that one's going to be, finding that one again, because somebody decided to make it all nice and shiny. But I have all of those. I have all of 62 through 95, and I'm only missing 3 on the nickel books. I've got only 3 that I'm missing in my penny books. So working on that one, getting that done. Again, I've kind of put pennies on the side because I'm not going to be finding a 11S or a 14D in a penny search. Jersey Stacker, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. So see if I can do, it's the wrong one. Let's do, there we go. So I want to get back into looking at more pennies and see if I can find some things, but it's fun. I think Stackett's doing some more, are doing one of these as well. He's only missing a few. What Jeffersons are you missing? Send me a list of those, and if I'm going across and I can find some stuff, I'll set them aside for you, because that's what's going on. Yeah, I'm filling out. So I've got Jersey. I've got almost all of my dimes except for the newer ones. I'm missing just a few dimes. I'm missing just a couple nickels. I missed some of the old pennies. I haven't really done anything after the statehood quarters. I kind of just dropped quarters. Like I quit touching them. Haven't really done anything, just because I wasn't. I don't know. It's hard to say. It just kind of lost its gusto for me, right? It just wasn't one of those things where I was like, oh yeah. And I think Stackett and I talked about this the other day, which was, you have to wait a year or something like that for some of the other quarters, and it just wasn't something I enjoyed doing. But now that I'm way behind, so I got all the presidentials. I got all of those, both B and D. But I've still got national parks. I haven't done any of those, and so I've got a lot of stuff to go through. So I think I might do, once I finish these other two books, I might go and start quarters. I know I'm not going to be finding things in really great shape, but it's about filling them up and then kind of getting everything done, and then going through and working on finding nicer ones, or purchasing nicer ones to fill gaps or things like that. So let me see if I can clear that up a little bit. I think it's a little bit better. But is anybody else working on any books? And again, if anybody wants to come on up, I'm going to go ahead and throw this back in here. Please pop on in, say hi, hang out for a little bit, visit. I think that Found It Buried was going to come in. I gotta email him real quick and find out if he was coming up. I think he was going to come in and visit, say hi. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. One of the videos I did was with Coin Crew. That went out today. So if you haven't seen that, that was a lot of fun. Those two are an absolute hoot. It was it was really cool to just sit here and laugh with them and kind of hear about their story and what they do, and kind of where they came from. I mean, we come from all walks of life. I mean, everybody knows this. And one of the things that I love about this is, how in the world would I meet, some of you that are up in Canada, different walks of life, right? I mean, how would we meet if it weren't for coins? How would we meet if it weren't for YouTube? And so it was really cool to kind of get that same vibe from them, and really go, people from everywhere are here, and they're enjoying what we do, and it is the community, right? It's about doing what we enjoy. And yeah, I enjoy it. So Jersey Sacker said, I think my dad just finished up his penny album. If you have any nickels you're looking for, you can email the dates. Playing a family game with the family. Oh, that's awesome. Is it a board game, or is it one of those card games? It's one thing that we used to do a lot. My oops, I just lost my coin camera. Let me try and get this back. Well, that's a bummer. See if I can get this thing back. I apologize for that. Had a little bit of a technical snafu there. There we go. We got that back. Let's add that back to the stream. All right, there we go. Coin Junkie, don't worry about it. Fully understand. Again, offer stands. You know, this is more about just chit-chatting and having fun. Game called Dominoes. It's a tile game. Oh, yeah, I love dominoes. We play, there's a domino game called Train that the kids enjoy playing. We haven't played it for a while. We need to pull the board games out. But we like playing the old, Life and Monopoly and all of those kind of things because it's a lot of fun. You can just sit there and visit with everybody and, laugh and joke. I think one of the funnest games we played recently was you see a word and you have to kind of guess what it means, what the definition is. So you have to come up with like this BS definition of something. And I can't remember what the name of it is, but man, that was so much fun. I enjoy board games. Used to play them a lot more. But now that the kids are older and they kind of have their own thing going on, we just don't do that as much. So need to try and get that relit because it's a lot of fun to be doing that. And I'm thinking that penny in these rolls indicates that these have been searched already. I'm not seeing or finding anything. So I'm going to go ahead when I'm done with this one and drop the nickels and shift on over to pennies for a little bit. See if we can find anything, see if we can have any luck. Because all I'm finding is mid Liberty. No. Looked a little fat for a minute. I think it's out of focus. Oh, thanks, brother. Appreciate you. That's cool. I appreciate when you sharing me out. Hey, the man with the plan.
Oh, there's no plan.
Appreciate you. What's up, brother? How you doing? Hey, the man with the plan.
Are we? Hold on. I gotta turn this off. Hold on.
What's up, brother? I love hearing the delay through it.
Okay, so now that I got the actual video stop, my bad. How's the echo?
No echo.
No echo?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Because this microphone picks up everything. So I wasn't sure because I'm using a TV as my second monitor here. And then I have my other monitor here. It's still a work in progress. And if you can tell, I've lost all my light. Like the only thing I have is like the ceiling fan light over there. Other than that, now the corner looks very dark because the it's like a 32-inch. So I'm playing with it a bit and I'll figure out the lighting situation. But it was killing me not having two screens. And so I had to fix that.
Well, my desk is a mess, but you want me to show you my spoiled setup? Check this out. Ready?
Yeah.
It's a mess. So bear with me. But
that's actually not that bad.
Yeah, so
I mean, mine's cleaner now that I was moving things around, but I got piles of coins. I got 4 of yours sitting here that you asked for. Now I pulled that whatever that was that you said 2003D. I pulled that one and put that back in the pile, but I will have 5 because I have a 2009. I'm almost certain because Ringmaster Ray, when I was looking for nickels, the 2009s myself, he sent me a random roll with a bunch of stuff in it. I've not completely gone through it. I flipped through it when I first got it, but I know there's a couple of 2009s in there. So I got that for you for sure. And then on mine, I'm missing. It's all early stuff. I'm let's see. I filled one last night, but
That's the S, the 41S or whatever that was.
no. It was I want to say it was like the 51 or something. I didn't do it on stream. It was off stream. And so I need the 59, a lot of the S's, 54, 52, 51, 48, 40, the 39D, which is only 3 million minted. So that's kind of
hard to find.
yeah. And then all of the 38s have eluded me, and the one that's going to really suck is the 38S, only 4 million minted. I mean, the 39D is lower, but I feel like just because it's 1 year earlier, somehow that's going to be harder to find. So I think right now I'm missing like 10. I can shoot you a list sometime, but I think it's going to be a rough one filling out the rest of this book. But then once I got it full, I have a complete Jefferson Nickel set, or at least up to wherever that third book goes to. I think it's like 2020 or somewhere in there. It goes pretty high. Something like that.
Yeah, mine goes all the way up. The ones that I want to look for, I mean, obviously I need the older ones like the 14D, the 11S. I need some of the older ones. But check that one. Check away all my 83s.
What was going on in the 80s? Do you remember that? Because is it that they didn't put out proof sets? Is that correct? So like proof sets are like, nice examples and things are like harder to find from like the early 80s there. I think it's like 82 and somewhere in there. Is that right?
Well, so there's a couple different things that happened during that time frame. Quality control sucked, and so you didn't have really good examples. The other thing that happened was that you had, and I can't remember what years they were, but they had like the 1960. They used that from like 1960 all the way through 61 or something like that, the same one. So you don't see certain years that have really good quality. There was something about the 80s. I mean, obviously there's 82, 83 where they went from copper to zinc. And so during that transition time, there were a lot of issues. Obviously, you're looking for the two big ones, which is the 83 copper, or you're looking for the 84. Is it the 83 and 84 copper? Right? The 84 is the one that I think they've only found like a couple of them. Not very common, but
83 should have all been zinc. So I know they exist there. I don't know about the 84s.
I think there was an 84 copper.
It was like a 60. I think it's like a 67 silver quarter. Somebody has somewhere.
Philip said at the 80s there were mint sets. They didn't do a lot of the mint sets. They did do some of the prestige sets.
Yeah, but those are proofs, I believe. I have. Yeah, those are. I'm almost certain. I got one. It's tucked somewhere in this bin. Oh wait, no, it's right here. I got one right here. Look at me. I'm pretty sure these are proofs. if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're proofs in the prestige sets. So that wouldn't like because I feel proofs are kind of easy enough to get most in most of what we consider to be modern coinage.
Right.
Like the old stuff. That's why you see like on a lot of the Morgans and things, you'll see proof like because and again, I'm still learning, but I don't think they were really making proofs back then. I think they were just stamping coins. I don't think they really cared as much. They may have like done some special runs, but it wasn't like a thing. I think that they really just did year in and year out. So I just don't think that they exist in some coins. And that's, I knew something weird happened with the 80s, but I guess it's the mint sets.
Yeah, again, when it comes to mint sets and stuff like that, I have a hard enough time following just the standard run of the mill coins. So to try and be able to find, to be able to find all the information about all that, I had such a long gap in my in collecting that even if I happen to know it, 15 years ago, I don't remember any of that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing with me. I was talking about during our interview. You asked me about being a history buff, and I am, but especially now that I'm on single dad life. Okay, well here's the best example. When I was on my first iteration of a channel, right, which was not that long ago. It's been a couple of years since I was really heavily editing videos for that channel. I knew in the software that I use all the effects. I knew how to take graphics and make them flip and spin and like do things and then render that to where it was just a thing that I could just throw in to
Yep.
another video and it was like set made. I never had to mess with it again. I made it once and then I was good. Well, flash forward to I've reinstalled the software on PCs and files, who knows where they are. I can't seem to find some of them because I had like a little flippy spinny subscribe button that would come in and then it get clicked and turn gray. And I did all this. Now, granted, I watched a tutorial, but I learned how to make this in my editing software and made it myself. I didn't get it from anywhere. And I was so proud of it. I can't find the darn thing now. And I've forgotten everything I learned. Not everything. I know all the basics still, but all the cheats and tricks and keyboard shortcuts and like a lot of the fine-tuned information that I had about the editing program, I've just forgotten because I wasn't using it for a couple of years.
Yeah. Hey, Founded Buried. Welcome, Nick. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. Fleabag, thanks for popping in. I'm sorry I missed you guys as you were coming in. Founded Buried, Nick, the link's down there. Go ahead and fire on in.
See, look at Philip giving us the information we need. He said that proof of most coins for collectors were made at one time, but sets really weren't sold publicly until 36 to 42. Found it buried. Good to see you. Nice stream last night, by the way. I couldn't stay long. Trying to get this kid to sleep at a decent hour and wrap up my evening. So I hung out as long as I could, but I hope that the search went well.
Yeah, he found a couple nice toonies. I saw the follow-up video. Didn't really get to dig in and look at what all specifically, but he found a couple really nice toonies. And he gave away some really cool old large cents that
U.S. or Canadian?
they were really old. They were really cool. I think she was very happy to receive those.
Were they U.S. or Canadian large cents?
They were Canadian, I believe.
I have like a bunch of large synths. They're in my other album, but I picked them up from somewhere coin shop I was at. They just had like a bin. I'm sure none of them are in pristine shape or anything, but I want to say most of them are English, like at least that's what I think, and Australian, and maybe like a Mexican or two. But they're all copper to some degree of percentage. But yeah, I got a bunch of those large synths at one time. I can't specifically say I got any Canadians in that. I'll have to look.
Hey, Nick Molinar. Thank you very much for coming on up. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Fleabite? Hello, Frostbite. Hey, just stack it over between the chat.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. Doing well.
Awesome.
Now,
Been
you've
making
been
videos
battling-
all day.
You've been battling being sick. How you feeling? You feeling better?
I am. Yeah, I'm just dealing with this medicine that I'm taking. I got to get the right dose and everything going. So
Yeah, I got you. You sounded a little congested earlier. When
I was. Yeah, I was on Mike's stream earlier, and I was just
Yeah.
like, ugh.
I'm glad you feel a little bit better. It's
Yeah.
going around. Both my kids were sick. I was sick about 2 weeks ago, and now they got it. So we're just passing it around the whole family.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anytime I start sneezing, I know I'm getting sick. So
This is week number 2.
What's the sneak peek for the videos? What have you been shooting, Nick?
oh, the one that's coming up, the premiere. It's going to be about me ripping apart a cell phone for gold.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So are you
And-
actually going to go through the process of reclaiming it?
I'm going to be doing that in the summertime because I have a whole bunch of electronics I've ripped apart. We're going to process it all at one time.
That takes like a bunch of chemicals, doesn't it?
Actually, you can get away with 3 or 4 chemicals.
Okay.
It's hydrochloric acid, right? Don't you have to do that and have to have like sterling silver or something like that to pull it out of the mix?
Hydrochloric acid, vinegar. I forget the exact mixture right now. I'll have to go back and look it back up, but it shouldn't cost too much. It'll be the first time I'm doing it, so I might screw it up. I don't know. I probably will, but
Yeah, well, the key with doing that is just make sure you have extremely good ventilation.
hence why I'm doing it outside.
You know what? I didn't even think about this. There's a place. I don't know how far they go in the process, but there's a place literally a mile from me that at least, sometime in the past was doing sorting of electronics for reclamation. So I wonder if I could get a hold of them and maybe do like a quick walkthrough. That'd be a good video of like their process and what they do.
Yeah, I know there's places in the States. I'm sure there's some in Canada too, where I could take all my gold e-waste, send it to them. They'll process it down for a fee, and give me the money for it. But I want to do it myself and see what I can do.
Well, yeah. I mean, anytime you can save, I'm sure economically that works out in your favor to do it yourself, assuming that you can, procure the chemicals at a reasonable rate and all those things. And plus, then maybe you have enough to do another batch later.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Like right now, I've probably got about. I still have another like 5 or 6 cell phones to take apart, multiple VCRs, a TV, 20 mouses.
Hold on, VCRs? There's gold in VCRs?
Yep, there are the older ones, especially.
Huh?
Yep. I every time we see them on the side of the road, I get the kids to run out, grab it, and I got a stockpile in my shed in the backyard, which I should have brought in for the winter, but Too darn cold to go out there now.
Oh, there's another Weedy.
Okay,
Tomorrow.
so I didn't know this, but I was Googling because it piqued my interest, and what better time than the present. Apparently, hybrid vehicles use anywhere between 18 and 34 grams of silver per vehicle, and full electric vehicles need somewhere between 25 and 50 grams. That's almost 2 ounces per car.
Yeah, that's why when you're looking at Elon Musk, he's buying silver. He's buying silver mines.
Oh, is he
Car-
buying mines?
Yeah, he bought
Mm.
a mine. He may have bought more than one, but I know he bought a mine and is investing in it. Did you know that he is an investor in? Oh, for heaven's sakes, what's that called? The
His
one that
AI
we-
company.
AI.
Oh yeah, OpenAI. Yeah.
Well, not just
Him.
AI, but the other one, the one where you and I were doing the process improvement one.
Yeah. That's theirs. The Chat GPT. That's theirs.
ChatGPT, yeah, he's really big on that. I didn't know about that until today.
Yeah, he was one of the founding investors. He's not really involved, I think, in the process, but he's involved in the funding because he can recognize right when something's a good idea. And Microsoft was already in early, and now apparently I don't know how much it was. If it's 10 million or 10 billion, I forget. But they just threw a bunch more money at them. And there's rumors that when it becomes a completely paid service, I don't know where they're getting this. They're saying it would be $42 a month, but they're not saying if that's for commercial API usage. Obviously, I'm guessing not. I still see it as probably being like a use-based payment plan. I already put my credit card on there. That thing is invaluable. And I just read a thing on the internet where apparently Amazon has warned its people and is taking some steps somehow to do what they can to make sure that their information doesn't get funneled through the bot, right? Like, because I guess they claimed they gave it some prompts and someone somewhere claimed that it put out what should be private information, or like basically in general they said basically it seemed like it knew a little too much.
Like proprietary information.
Yeah, I mean it must be revolving around like coding and different things, I think, mainly. But yeah, I mean that's a big concern, I guess, for companies.
Well, yeah, think about if you were able to understand the logistic map that they utilized for their shipping, right?
Oh,
Think
all
right,
those processes are
think
so
about that, you know what I
complex. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find any of that in any one place, but yeah, I mean, there's probably bits and pieces that would be not ideal to get out, I'd imagine.
But that's the whole thing about these inside things. What people fail to understand is that you don't need all the information in one place. All you need is a good, credible source of information where you can get one piece here, one piece there, one piece here, one piece there. And then after a little while, you have a very robust insight and knowledge base of what's going on. You can put together a lot of information based off a bunch of apparently random facts.
Yeah, well, and two, even from a lot of public information, just public communications and different things, these I think are going to be able to extrapolate stuff from things that really maybe we couldn't directly infer, but it can kind of read between the lines and formulate what we think. Like, okay, if you had all these public press releases from, say, a company like Amazon and knew like what they've done in the past and, you know, whatever rules and things that they've publicly made statements about, and you had some track record there, you could probably reasonably extrapolate like what they may or may not do in the future based on that information, because it's calculating stuff at levels we can't fathom. I mean, when you can throw a question at it and it just generates, in most cases, a very good response in less than a minute, and then you can throw it something completely different, left field, you know, and just switch it up, and it's just as fast and just as good. That, I mean, and this is version 1 essentially. You know, 5 years from now, who knows what this thing's going to look like. But I will say, when I was on there a couple days ago, it actually states at the bottom that they made some upgrades already and did something to increase its factual output. So in other words, I was asking it one day about Morgan dollars, and it gave me some bad information. It had somewhere got information mixed up with like another coin. It was talking about the single star above the eagle symbolized this, and I even questioned it, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that true? And it came back and it was like, yep, it's true. And then I looked it up and I'm like, that, because, you know, it picked out a Morgan and looked at it and I'm like, there's no star above the eagle. It had me second guessing. And I'm like, no, wait. And I told it then, after 2 prompts of it saying, yep, I'm right. I said, no, that's wrong. There is no star. And it literally, and it's crazy to look at this on the screen, like your little blinking cursor means it's thinking, right? So I did that. I told it was wrong. There was no star above the eagle, and I hit enter. And I saw it thinking for a minute, and it was thinking a little longer than normal. And then it came back and it was like, you know what? You're right. My response was incorrect. Here's a more factual representation. And it gave it back to me again, you know, a similar thing, but without the inconsistencies and inaccuracies. So I watched it learn, and not only learn, but admit that it was wrong and correct it. So
I'm going to drop down. Have a good one, guys.
All right, Nick, you have a good one as well. Thanks for popping in.
Not a problem. Good to see you.
Looking forward to your videos.
Find something good tonight.
Thanks. Appreciate you. Yeah, I think the AI stuff is really cool. It's also a little scary. Not from a standpoint of I'm a conspiracy theorist, but, you know, all that information in one place.
Well, and you got to think about it in realistic terms. Whatever the commercial market has, right? Theoretically, the government, what was it? Like in the 80s and the 90s, they said the government's 20 years beyond what the commercial market has. Now, I don't know if that's still true, but let's all admit that they're ahead by some margin. So if we have stuff like this now coming out on the commercial market, what do they have? I mean, we already knew like facial recognition was coming, and like everybody there for a while in the early 90s and late 90s was suspecting that all these CCTV cameras and things had it. Well, now we know they have it. And it's like that old argument of science fiction becomes reality because that's where our minds are at, right? Like, I forget what it was. It was something on Star Trek. It's some small technology of some sort. Maybe it was like the doors and things. I'm not sure. but somebody like stated like back when the original Star Trek, or maybe it was Communicators or something, when they first came out, like it was science fiction, and we probably would never have that. And then now we have things like phones, which almost kind of mimic like a tricorder. It, 10, 15 years from now, theoretically can give you atmospheric readings and all these things. I mean, the thing can navigate you in your car from one side of the planet to the other.
Yeah.
It's very strange how we go the route that we dream rather than maybe what somebody can come up with.
Well, and you were talking about the doors. Well, the doors were a real thing too, because before you had to you stand on that pressure pad, and then, hey, Miss Canadian Scrapper, thank you for coming in. How are you? Appreciate you stopping in, saying hi. Then you didn't have to step on that little pad anymore. Now you just walk up to it and the door would open.
Oh, yeah, the pressure pads.
Remember those?
I forgot about those.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that kind of stuff that has happened, and a little doubling in that FG. But there's a lot of that stuff that has happened. But oh man, what's his name? Gene Roddenberry said science fiction is the precursor to science fact. Right. It's only because we just don't have the knowledge at that time. But you look at like hoverboards, or you look at I mean, there's so many things. I mean, who would have thought years and years ago that we would have had exactly. Found it, Barrett. Are you gonna come up and hang in here? Are you going to come and join the chit chat? Or are you just going to lurk in the background? He's like, I'm going to lurk in the background. I'm preparing for my stream. Is it? I got more people than you. I need to actually prepare.
There's no preparation. There's just go.
I like that dude. He makes me laugh.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with some of this stuff. We're probably the last generation or close to it that's really gonna know what the world was like before. Like when we're all old and like 70 and 80 and all of this, and God forbid 90, we're going to be the ones in like nursing facilities that like the news comes and like wants to talk about, what was it like talking on a phone with a cord? Like, you used a payphone? You put a coin into a phone that was on the street?
Did you see, and I'm not a huge fan of Ellen DeGeneres, but she did one where they gave a phone book and a rotary phone. And they were like, okay, your car's broke, you need a muffler. So they're going through C, car. And then it's like, well, I can't find it. It's not there. And it's like, well, what else is a car called? Vehicle. V. It's like auto, go into A, and then you go to muffler, right? So they find it, and then they put their hand on the phone, and they go, da, 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 and they pick it up, hello? So, I mean, we joke about that, but that's going to be us. I mean, it kind of already is to some degree with some of the stuff these kids can do. I mean, I've done IT for years, and these kids coming up, they can do stuff. And I'm just like, I'm so far behind. I mean, I consider myself fairly knowledgeable, but holy crap. I mean, they're born coding almost. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. My buddy way back in the day, kept telling me, you need to learn how to code. You need to learn how to code because he could build things and write programs, and he was very tech oriented. And I don't know what it was, probably mostly interest, but um, I've dabbled in it a little bit now. I know enough to like know about it. I don't think, wrote anything complete that was very functional for any means, but I know enough about some of them, all the big ones and a few of the smaller ones. But he kept saying like, "Oh, we should code. You should learn." And I remember when Android first came out, he sat me, his sister, his brother, and himself down. I called this meeting, and nobody knew like what what's he all want to talk to us all about. We thought it was like some big thing, and he called this meeting, and this is, I don't know when, but Android had like just busted out onto the scene. And he sat us all down because I couldn't program, right? But they could. His sister and his brother, they're all techies. And I remember this vividly because it probably could have changed our lives. And he sat us down and he was like, we all need to start writing programs for Android, like apps. We need to start writing apps. And this was before like the flood of stuff. Like there weren't apps for hardly anything. It was before the whole marketing campaign of there's an app for that. It was that early. Like it was the wild, wild west. And he was trying to get us. And I was like, yeah, like I'll learn to code. And he was like, that's great. I remember him going, that's great, Matt. And I'll teach you. But yeah, cool. But I don't need you. I need them. They can already code, but they wouldn't agree to it. They said they didn't have time or whatever else. We'd probably be multimillionaires 10 times over if we'd have caught that wave early enough and really kind of developed that out. Who knows where we'd be? And like, here was somebody with the information and the insight begging. He was like literally, I'll do most of the work. I just need you guys to help. They wouldn't get on board. And it boggles my mind looking back at it now because I'm like, he was 100% right. Like we would probably have some giant company now and be millionaires had we actually attempted to do that.
Yeah, I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? My granddad told me when I got out of the military to get into Apple. Whoops, hold on just a second. To get into Apple, and it was like, why? I mean, why would I do that, right? And then when I go back and I look, that was, back in the 90s when Apple was like 25, $30. And if I would have invested what I got when I separated from the military, it'd be worth millions. I mean, millions.
Yeah, they've had quite a few.
The woulda, coulda, shoulda thing. I quit doing that a long time ago.
Well, no, I don't do that. The only reason I bring it up is because, like, I remember him sitting there and being like, "No, you don't understand. This will change our lives. Like, you could quit your job. Blah 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 blah. This will be a thing," and just nobody really taking it very seriously. And so like now you look back and I don't care about the woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's just more so giving him his props that he was undoubtedly correct. Had we been successful, yeah, it literally would have. We'd have had some company or sold it off or who knows. But he was 100% right. Getting into that early would have been a thing, because like, look where we're at now. How many decades is it later? 2 at least, and Android's a thing still and is not going anywhere. I actually think most phones run on Android. Apple has a large market share, but I think Android's larger. It's like Windows and Mac, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of the development that could have been done, when you look at what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Innovation that was done all that time ago. Can you imagine? I mean, knowing what the kids know now.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting out at a position where, I mean, look at just even the computers that we had, the green screens, you know? I can literally play Number Munchers on my phone now. Like there's an app for Number Munchers and Word Munchers and all of those old games. And that was the highlight of my week in like first grade, was doing whatever it was that got me into the computer lab on Friday for like 45 minutes so I could play Number Munchers on a computer, you know, because, and it wasn't even that great, you know. I think even arguably, you know, the Nintendo was better, you know, at a dedicated video games, but it was just like this thing that you couldn't access anywhere else. You had to play it on the computer. And at that point, who could afford a computer? I think our computer lab had like 4 or 5. And we were like in, I guess, upper middle class school district, you know, not the poorest, I think, probably, you know, in the region. And so we only had a handful. So back then that was a lot of money. Nowadays,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
kids, like, they give them Chromebooks. It's required. They have to have one now. It's
Oh yeah.
weird.
My daughter, they use the Microsoft version, but yeah, I mean that's what they use, right? And they have she does a lot of artwork, and so they're doing all the digital art and stuff, and she's doing, I mean, animation and all this other stuff. It's like, I mean, you know, we had animation, but it wasn't nothing like what they have capability now. And it's innate to them to understand the technology. It's not, you know, we had to go to school and we had to take a class, and there were a couple of us that were complete geeks that really kind of understood, you know, got the language. It just kind of clicked with you. And, you know, I remember working on the old Tandy, right? That was, you know, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego was my first game where, you know, you'd enter the command and he'd be like for like 2 minutes, and then it would take you to Brazil or something, and then that text would come across. But yeah, you look at what we have now. I mean, if and I know people know this, but we have more computing power in the palm of our hand. This thing right here has more computing power than what sent people to the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unreal. And so, you know, you think about, you know, what can we do with all of this? What's available to us? And these kids are they just innately get it. It's pretty impressive.
Well, one of the things that really got me was, it was my sophomore year of high school, and I actually took in high school still, like I was one of the lucky ones. They got rid of driver's ed for legal reasons. So driver's ed was gone, but they still had home ec. They still had shop class, like wood shop. They still had like real photography. We had a dark room and all that. So I took photography. Yeah. I took home ec. I took wood shop. Now this was my sophomore year. And it's getting towards the end of the semester, and we were on the back half of the year. So it was like towards the end of the year too. And the shop teacher sat us down, and we only had a couple of weeks left or something. And he sat us down and he goes, "Hey, you know, like I want to have a talk with you guys. They've decided to discontinue shop class. Like this dude's out of a job, you know, because he's a shop teacher. Like there's no other transferable place he can go with those skills." So they were like, you know, shop's done. They're not going to offer it anymore. You're literally my last class. You know, it had this kind of heartfelt speech. But in there, he looked at us with like this you know, knowledgeable, like lifelong look. And he said, let me tell you guys something. He said, in 20 years, and this was, like 99, maybe. He said, in 20 years, if you don't build the machine, fix the machine, make parts for the machine, you're not going to have a job. He said, all this other stuff is going to go away. Technology is going to come in and just take over all these things. So study all the technology. He goes, this stuff is great and it's fun, but he said, no one's going to be doing this successfully, 30, 40 years from now. All these kind of jobs will be gone. It won't make sense to have a craftsman make you something out of wood when a machine can do the same thing in record time. Now, is that 100% true? Probably not. Some people still will kind of pay for handmade stuff, but on a whole, on like the larger scale, he's 100% right. How many jobs have we lost to technology? And you could argue that they're just shifted or relocated, or now you're overseeing a process rather than doing a process or whatever have you. But there is some loss there. People act like there's not. Some jobs do disappear, and I think that's only going to increase from here on out. That's actually when I got around to getting off my behind. That's one of the reasons why I got into industrial maintenance and robots and automation and all of the stuff that I know how to do, is because I remembered what he said and I said, okay, like this is the way to go. And for those reasons, I'm probably always going to be employable, for the foreseeable future. But not everyone can say that. I mean, it's going to get rough here in the next 20 to 40 years. I kind of look at my kids and I wonder, like, what are they even going to have the options to do? Like legitimately, like what if they come up with some system that automates the court process and, theoretically and relatively bias free looks at, what you're accused of. We analyze the evidence and it makes a judgment and a sentencing or whatever. We're into science fiction and who knows if we'd ever even get there, but you get what I'm saying. Like once we start automating things, what's the limit? Like, is it okay for a robot to pump your gas? Is it okay for a robot to pass your sentence for a fine on a speeding ticket? Like where's it going to go? And so in that, like what are my kids even going to have an option to do as far as like a college education? I don't even know. And it's too hard to tell. It's too far away.
Oh no, I got you. Yeah, and so there's a lot of those things that, that when you're talking about the craftsman, there's a lot of people on here, and I'll refer back to people like Perry, right? Perry's Cards. It's an art form. It's not just
Right.
It's not just he does something cool. It's an art form, but when you look at, so that's art, right? That's art. But when you look at, hey, we got somebody from the UK, McDonald Bullion. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Like our brothers from across the pond.
Yeah, the ones that pay. What is that tax called that they have to pay?
Outrageous.
Well, no, I'm talking about on the silver. I forget what it's, the VAT tax or something.
Oh, the VAT tax.
Yeah, because I know I watch Backyard Bullion, and he's always, he's talked about it in a few videos where he has to actually, even his poured stuff, you have to send it out to get certified and pay for that on top of just pouring your silver. Because it's got to be certified, I guess, over there, and there's an extra fee for that. very interesting, the differences, and I'm very happy we're on this side of the pond, because we may have premiums, but at least we don't have that on top of it.
Yet.
Yeah. Well, and see, and that's the thing. The funny thing about AI, as we were talking before, everybody said it was gonna take away the technical jobs first, right? The processes would be automated, therefore, we don't need this position because now a program does that automatically or whatever. The one that comes to mind the most would probably be like secretaries. If once we get digital personal assistants to a good level, then secretaries and personal assistants will theoretically be obsolete unless somebody really wants like a person to do that work. But what we've seen, and some of the stuff I've shown you, is that AI is coming out of the gate with some of the creative stuff like image generation and some of these other things in a very strong way. And that's where everyone's like, wait a minute. We figured it could write code and start doing some of these things and give you good answers, like we all know Google is pretty good at doing, from time to time. But I don't think anyone thought it was going to be able to take a text description of something and generate a beautiful piece of artwork. Now, is it great? But again, no, we're still in like the fledgling stage of this thing. So it really is going to be interesting to see. But then, like you said, it just creates a separate thing, because people will then value the handcrafted stuff, I feel like, as long as the quality is there, more so than any computer generated, AI generated anything, right? If a person took the time to create this and it's legitimately one of a kind, then, that's a thing. But that was part of somebody somewhere is suing one of the image generators because just like with the other stuff for the AI, it parsed images and paintings and all kinds of stuff from everywhere to generate its baseline for what does a sunny grassy knoll look like, what does a mountainscape in winter look like. It had to get a baseline for these things, and so it took all these images in. And people are saying now in the lawsuit, they're claiming that the stuff that AI is generating are variations of the same work, kind of like music, how like it's maybe not the whole song, but it sounds real close and it's enough for like a lawsuit. They're kind of on that side of things where they're saying, no, like your AI looked at my painting and a bunch of other paintings like it and then came up with this one, but this is a AI generated composition of our work, essentially. And so that lawsuit is going through now. It's just a really weird time. It's going to be very interesting to see how all this falls out. But I think we know who's going to win. I think usually everything sides on the fact of what they consider to be in the public's best interest, combined with who stands to make the most money. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's how these things seem to go. So I don't see them making a landmark case for independent artists when it would pigeonhole this entire technology which could do who knows what, as it progresses. I don't think they're going to stop that because it would stand in the way of theoretical progress. I think they'll do something and then they'll move on and move forward with it in some scape. But it's doing creative stuff, and that's the problem. Like, everyone thought it was going to do all the technical stuff and all the boring stuff that we didn't want to do, and they said we would have all the time we wanted to go be creative and be artists and be poets. Well, it's writing better poetry than I can. and it's making better art than I can. And it's in some forms, in technical aspects, it's probably faster and more accurate than I am already. So that to me spells trouble in some aspects. So we'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's what I foresee, and this is just me, right? Being as, um, hey, North Shore 85, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. You're not in Hawaii by chance, are you? If you do, I love North Shore. It's one of my favorite places. You get some of the best sunsets in the world at North Shore. I went squirrel for a minute.
You're all right.
I don't know what I was going to say.
Are you done with the pennies?
Say again?
Are you done with the pennies?
No, I just have to move them.
Okay.
I was going to give something away.
There you go.
So I'm going to go through this, then I'm going to be done. But we got 6 people on, and no, sir, hung out there. Oh, okay. I just like the North Shore. So this is a 10th ounce from Guinea, yeah. And it's a cool little coin. Somebody just left. Hopefully they're still back in here. But I'm going to go ahead and give this away. Let me get a game set up here in just a second. I got to remember how to do the StreamYard duck race.
Good luck. I don't know how.
I can't remember how to do this. I should have bookmarked it.
So I'm looking at the Mint website, right?
Oh man, all the dates changed.
Oh yeah.
I quit looking at it. It's frustrating.
No, I'm looking at the cash because I have like some of the sheets of bills, the uncut. There's a 50 note $1 sheet. So it's 5 across and 10 down. Like that's a whole sheet. I don't know if it's a whole sheet, but it's pretty close. You can get those uncut, right? At least from the Mint website. I'll have to see if they're cheaper on the secondary market, but $86 for $51 bills uncut. That would look awesome behind me in a frame. Now, again, I know silver and coins and whatnot, and we don't like the fiat, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I guess I could tape a bunch together or something, but an uncut sheet would be pretty sweet. And $86 isn't that bad for one. Somebody's got to have framed one. I'll look around on the secondary market, but you can get back to your giveaway. I was just staring at this thinking how good it would look on the wall.
Well, here, pull it up on your screen. Show me what you're talking about.
I got to choose the screen. Yes, it's easy as select window or screen. Boom. Allow. All right. I think, did it do it or is it not? I can't tell. Can you see it?
Hold on just a sec. I got to share it.
Oh,
Here,
oh.
there you go.
So it's this thing. I can't. It's saying roll over image to zoom, but it's not zooming. But you get the idea. It's 5 across and 10 down. I don't know what that equals out to be, but that's a couple of probably at least closing in, if not 2 feet wide by probably about the same tall. It says, oh, okay, here we go. 27 inches by 31 and a half, pretty much. That would look really good framed up. And $86 isn't that bad for that either. I mean, you're only, what is that, like $36 in premium?
Yeah.
That's not too hateful, because if you look at some of the others, the higher the denomination and the fewer the bills, the higher the premium on it. But this one's actually the most economical. You get the most money for the amount of money that you spend. Like $100 sheet of, I think, like 20 is expensive, or maybe it's not even 20, maybe it's like 10, and it's quite pricey. So yeah, that I was staring at. I need silver. Why am I looking at fiat money? I was just thinking it's basically I'm talking about wallpaper here.
All right, so let's do a wheel picker. All right, let's get this going here. I'll share my screen in just a second. And he's funny. George, you sweet talking me? You ain't getting any. It's hilarious. I can't do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write something down on a piece of paper. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. And I'm going to write down a number. And I want you guys to enter the number in chat. So I'm going to do just that. Matter of fact, just stack it. I'm just going to give you the number. You want to be in on this? Of course you want to be in on this.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
No, you want to be in on this. All right, so I'm going to write the number 1 through 20, and we'll do whoever's the closest. Okay? So
All right.
Go ahead and go.
Oh, geez. Wait for people to start pinging in. You said 1 through 20?
1 through 20, and we'll do whoever's closest. And if we got people that are close, like similar to each other, then we'll we'll fire it off. So there's one person, ping.
Coin Junkie. Actually pinged in.
All right. So do we have? We'll give it just a few more moments. There's a couple people online. If you haven't entered a number already, do so. Bibbs in Toyland. I don't know if you're still here. Annie, if you are, put a number in. 1 through 20. And what we're going for is this. It's a 10-ounce silver. It's a good looking coin. 999 fine. All right, so we'll give it just a few seconds. I know there's one person in here that they're not doing it. There she is. All right, so we got everybody. All right, and the winner is?
Dun, dun,
Got it,
dun.
Barry.
Was it?
Yeah, he's 13. He's only 2 off. North Shore's off by 3.
Ooh, 11. Nice.
All right, so I'll get with you during the your live stream, and I'll get you set up. We'll get this off. Congratulations, bud.
Yeah, congratulations. 10th ounces. Always nice.
So, well, y'all, I appreciate you coming in, saying hi, seeing what's going on. I know that Found It Better is going to be starting his stream up here in about 20, 25 minutes. So I'm going to finish this roll, and then I'm going to bail so he can get over and get his stuff set up. And if you guys want to join me over there for a little chit chat,
You're not
I'm
going to
sure
believe
he would
this.
appreciate it.
You're not going to believe this.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so check this out.
What did you
Because we were looking at this sheet, right? $86 from the mint. There's no household limit. I don't know what the total limit is, but the household limit's like 999, whatever. So essentially no limit. It's $86, or at least that's what it's saying right now, for the $51 sheet, right? I'm
Okay.
looking at sold listings on eBay. Yet 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Oh wait, no, a little longer than 2 days ago. One sold for almost $300. A 50 note uncut sheet of $1 bills.
Someone clearly didn't know what they were buying.
I know.
Or
They really wanted
go
that
back and look
one.
at the listing, go look at the numbers.
Well, yeah. I don't even know if they go into that much detail, but this is a 2017 sheet from Atlanta, it says. I'm guessing. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking. That's the only large one that I can see that's sold. Oh, here's one. Yeah, November, one sold for 70. It doesn't say what year it is, but okay. So yeah, you're right. Maybe on that one somebody clearly didn't know, but this one was still in the original package too. So probably.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting if you can go back and look at it. Can you pull up the
Oh, yeah.
original listing?
Yeah. I
If
can look.
so, do the zoom in and look at the serial numbers, because I'll bet you that there's either like trinaries
No,
or some sort of radial number
I
or
don't know.
binary.
I don't see it, at least. So what I'm seeing is like 3582 2972. I think they're too far apart to get anything like substantial. I'm sure maybe you got like a bookend or something like that in there, but you can't separate it. I don't think. I mean, unless you want to cut it apart.
No.
But yeah, I don't see anything that's like doubling up or radars or anything like that. And they're not star notes or anything, which can happen. I have 4 uncut $2 bills that are star notes. And I don't even know how that happens. You would think that they wouldn't put those into those sets because I can't find anywhere to like directly buy them. So it must have just been like happenstance, I'm guessing. And they needed some bills, so they cut up some star notes and put them in there. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Sorry, you ever seen one of these?
Yeah. So when I went to Silvertown, they had a bunch of them, but they wanted an arm and a leg. They had one somebody had carved into like an Indian chief, like a really nice one. And it was authentic. Like it wasn't like a modern replica of a hobo nickel. It was like an old hobo nickel. And I think that one they wanted like over $300 for.
Yeah, so this is one of the newer ones, but this artist was trained. I actually got this from JB Coins, and they actually know the artist who's trained to do this, and he does it in the old style. But this is my second one. They're all a little bit different. I really like these things. They're really cool.
So would you pay for something like that?
Huh?
Would you pay for something like that?
Like 35.
Okay.
Something like
That's not
that.
too
It's
bad.
not an exorbitant amount. But what I like about these, because I mean they don't mess with the other side. It's pretty much untouched. And sometimes they'll leave the date, but you can see all the tooling marks, so they don't hide that. Man, you know what? Let's do this. Oops. I didn't need that anyway. That's a better view. So, but you can see the tooling marks down and through here where they've cut it in, and you can see where they kind of tooled out that area there.
Yeah.
But it's really cool because you can see the old line. Obviously, they changed it here. You know, they still use that basic same cheekbone and stuff, but it's really cool.
Oh yeah, I like it. Yeah, some of them, it's cool to like look through them and see the different artists and what they've done and what they've created from it. Like the Indian chief one, I
Yeah.
didn't even know what I was looking at first because it was all off by itself because of its high price tag. I was like, wait, what is this? And I'm looking at it, and then that's when it kind of hit me. I'm like, oh, that's a hobo nickel. And so like I was looking at some of the other ones once I found out they had them, and yeah, it's really cool. As a matter of fact, I need to get back over to Silvertown. I haven't been there in a couple of months, and I need to go see what they got because if anyone knows, they're out in the middle of kind of nowhere in Indiana, and it's not super far from me, but they don't get a lot of foot traffic. So if you go in there, at times you can find some stuff because they're just like they're not like a full-fledged coin shop, obviously, but they have stuff, right?
Yep.
So it may be limited, the selection, you know, it's not going to be like some giant coin shop selection, but they have some pretty cool stuff from time to time, and I've gotten some nice deals there.
No, I got you. All right, dude. Well, I am going to bail out of here. I'm going to clean
All right.
up and get over and go wait for George to kick on. Oh, excuse me, found it Barry to kick on. And I appreciate everybody coming in. Thanks for keeping me company. And
All right, yeah.
if you
Thanks
haven't
for
already,
having me.
So go check out the Coin Crew interview.
Oh, I watched like probably about half of it. I had it playing while I was working this morning, and then work got to be too much. So yes, I do have to finish that. But it
Those two are
looked like it
crazy.
was a
That's
great
so much
interview.
fun. It was so much fun.
All right. Well, I will talk to you later. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out, and thank you, Frostbite, for having me up. Glad I could keep you company and test the current setup a little bit. Thank you.
And you can see the stuff in the back a little bit better. You seem to be farther right.
Oh, and I have for this camera, I have a new lens coming because this one is actually, I know, whatever you may know, it's actually a telephoto lens. So I can get stuff like down the street with this camera as it sits. So this is the limit of what it can really focus on. So it doesn't do as good a job here. So I got a different lens for it. That should help. And then I can kind of work with it, fingers crossed, a little better than what I have now. So that's coming. All right, man. Well, I will talk to you later. Thanks again.
Sounds good, brother. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Appreciate it.
Bye.
And again, if you didn't do it, smash that thumbs up button. Appreciate you. Y'all take care. Be blessed.